Before Rage Against the Machine turned into Rage for the Machine, they had a hit called Killing in the Name of. That song would fit perfectly on the soundtrack for today's movie, How to Make a Killing, the new dark comedy with Glen Powell, Jessica Henwick, and Margaret Qualley. Is this movie worth killing a couple of hours to see what happens? Find out what it happens today on Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Well, hello there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica Live. And as always, I am your not so humble host, Van Ebert. Well, occasionally I'm humble right there, but I just want to thank everyone for joining us here today, especially my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. And this week's movie is going to be How to Make a Killing. And like I said before, it stars Glen Powell, who is trying to be the next big thing here. And hey, I'm rooting for him. He came on the scene as Hangman in Top Gun Maverick a few years ago. And ever since then, he's been trying to, be, the next Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, whatever. And, but just hasn't quite reached that plateau yet. Okay. But before we get too far into How to Make a Killing here, just want to remind you guys that we do have the live chat available here. That's one of the perks of doing a show live right there. Okay. So let's enjoy that perk. And yeah, feel free to get in the live chat on Rumble or YouTube. It's a very complicated process of looking for a button that says like chat or live chat somewhere right on down there. Clicking on that, and then it'll open up a live chat window. And then down at the bottom of that live chat window, you just type in like "hi," or a poop emoji or a thumbs up or whatever you want. Very simple, very easy right there. Okay, and so now that I've gotten that out of the way here, let's get into How to Make a Killing. And this is directed by John Patton Ford. And I know John Patton Ford is not a household name, like a household director name, like Spielberg or Christopher Nolan or Denis Villeneuve or some of the other big ones out there. Trying to think of I don't know, Zack Snyder, those guys there. Those are kind of household names as far as directors. But John Patton Ford, not quite yet. It would kind of help if he actually would come out with more than just one movie. Now he's up to two movies with this, but he made this movie today, and then he made a movie called Emily the Criminal back back in 2022 right there. So I'm not a math expert, so what is that, 4 years ago or something like that? But we got Shawnee Mac up in here in the hizzy right there joining us here today. And so Shawnee Mac 1 is the first to answer the call to get in the live chat right there from the YouTube side right there. But good to see you, sir. Glad to see you in here, classing up the joint. This joint needs some serious classing up when it's just me right there. Okay. But so he in this Emily the Criminal movie that I mentioned here before, it's not bad. It's a pretty good movie. Who is it? The actress that's in it there. She's on Parks and Rec, and she's what is her name? I'm completely having a blonde moment right here. It's Emily the Criminal, Aubrey Plaza. That's it, Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec right there. I had to cheat there, obviously. And it's a good kind of gritty movie, kind of she plays this character where yeah, she goes and she becomes a criminal, hence the name of the movie right there. But she's kind of this down on her luck, blue collar kind of woman here who's trying to do it the right way, trying to lift herself up by her bootstraps, but life and just people, just devious people in her life just keep letting her down, and she turns to a life of crime, and it doesn't go so well. But Emily the Criminal, I think it's on. Well, I don't think, I know it's on streaming somewhere right there, but pretty good movie. Actually, let's double check here just to see where it's at for sure right there. Instead of guessing, let's see where you can find it. That looks like it's on Tubi and Prime Video to buy right there. But it looks like you can stream it on Tubi there. But yeah, so that is this director's John Patton Ford. That was his first movie. Now he's moving up in the world where he's moving beyond Aubrey Plaza. No offense, Aubrey Plaza, but Glen Powell or Margaret Qualley at this point. So yeah, maybe. But speaking of those guys, yeah, this movie stars Glen Powell as Beckett. It's got Jessica Henwick as Ruth, his romantic interest. Margaret Qualley as his he wants her to be his romantic interest. So she's like a femme fatale in this movie. It's also got Ed Harris and Topher Grace in it as well. And the plot of it is, and the trailer gives a lot of it away here, so I might just save myself some oxygen and just play the trailer instead. But the plot deals with Glen Powell here playing this guy that is in line to inherit the $28 billion fortune of the Redfellow family fortune there, but he's way down on the list right there. A few other people just have to shed their mortal coil, kick the bucket, whatever, whatever, however you want to put it, before he has a chance to inherit that $28 billion right there. But I'm just going to play the trailer here and make it easy on myself as far as explaining the plot right there, because you know what? Hey, I'm not above being lazy, that's for sure. So, to that point, here we go.
Okay, gun to your head. What would you even do with $1 billion?
Why do you have a gun to my head? Since the day I was born, my mother told me we were different. Yes, she had been disowned by her family, but someday I would become the sole heir. The real estate, planes, an island or two.
Beckett, no way. So are you living in the city now?
Yeah, I do. A little outside of it.
Whatever happened to the Redfellow family fortune?
I'll inherit it. Someday.
Well, call me when you've killed them all.
There were 7 of them. 7 rich pricks.
Whoa.
Between myself and $28 billion. If I were to prune a few branches of the family tree.
Wait, who are you?
I'm Beckett.
Two calls, 2 emails.
Been occupied.
With what?
Occupations.
Been working your way up the financial ladder. Filthy business, though.
Hope this isn't a bad time. We had an agreement.
You don't get out of here until you come clean.
Have you heard about the Redfellows?
What about them?
I wonder who's next. If I were you, I might be nervous. Until then, I'm sure you'll make a killing.
Yeah, Yeah, that's much easier than going over the plot. I should do that more often right there. I'm always griping about how the trailers give away too much of the plot right there. But hey, as long as they do that, hey, I should just start using them to just go over the plot right there, without, too many spoilers or anything like that, because I don't want to be that guy. But, this movie right here, that's kind of the plot. I guess it kind of goes without saying. It is kind of the selling point of the movie right here. Like, oh, hey, got this guy, and he's got this rich family, and he's got to go and trim some branches and prune some branches off the family tree to inherit all that cash, all that moolah. So and that's kind of the selling point right there. But yeah, it's so I'm going to do that more often right there. But anyway, we've got some more How to Make a Killing to get through. So let's move on. All right. So, and I will say that this movie does a good job at keeping you guessing. I mean, once Beckett is spurred, and Beckett is again, what's his name? Jeez. Glen Powell's character's name. So, yeah. So once Beckett is spurred on to begin his killing streak, for a while, the plot is systematic and pretty much by the numbers. Before you know it, though, some unexpected circumstances, befall our protagonists, like falling in love and finding professional success with the help of one of the people he has to kill there, because he gets to the point where one of the Redfellow relatives there, they're like, he meets up with them, and he's like, yeah, I should have, reached out to you guys sooner, you and your mom, and helped you guys out, but I never did. But you know what? Let me start now. And he gives Beckett a job, and so at that point, Beckett's kind of conflicted, like, oh man, I don't know, this guy's so nice to me now. I don't know if I want to take the guy out, right? And then so he's got those conflicting interests right there. You're like, what's a man trying to inherit 28 billion supposed to do? You're like, slum it with an exotically beautiful woman. That would be Jessica Henwick playing Ruth there. In a multi-million-dollar New York City penthouse, or keep killing. Now, you have to remember that Beckett has this deep down resentment with the Redfellow family for decades, ever since they threw his mom out of the family, and he watched her struggle because his mom gets pregnant with Beckett, and it's out of wedlock. And so, obviously, like a lot of families will do, we're like, whoa, it's just too scandalous, to our family right here. It's like, you either get rid of that thing or you're out of the family. And of course, obviously, since Beckett, obviously exists here, we know what his mom's name is Mary. We know what Mary did, made the decision that she made. And so she wanted Beckett so bad that she just gave up, her place in the inheritance. Well, she didn't give up her inheritance, like, because she was still in line for that, but she didn't get to enjoy, the luxurious lifestyle that that she would have if she just would have just, as insensitive people, put it, take care of it there when she got pregnant. So, but she chose to keep the baby, and she got excommunicated there, and she had to live the old blue collar life. And like I said, Beckett watched her struggle, and so he's been on a blues brother like mission from God. Strike that. I don't think God would send him on a mission to kill his family, no matter how obnoxious and stupid they are. So I'm going to just toss that one to the side there. Throw another wrinkle into this in the form of Julia Steinway, Beckett's childhood friend and first object of puppy love, appearing in his life now that they're adults, and that would be the character played by Margaret Qualley here. And in case you didn't know, Margaret Qualley in real life, she's actually the daughter of Andie MacDowell. And so you guys might not know who Andie MacDowell is just by me mentioning her, but you'll know her as the love interest to Bill Murray on Groundhog Day. So, that's Andie MacDowell. She's been in a bunch of other movies as well. She was like St. Elmo's Fire. She was the hottie in St. Elmo's Fire that Emilio Estevez was thirsting over there. So, but Julia, again, played by Margaret Qualley, she goes from entitled, uppity child brat to entitled uppity adult brat, okay, who Beckett is still obsessed with to a point, okay. Now she leads Beckett on with seduction and teasing him with what she won't let him have. Will that keep working for her, or will she get put on his hit list? The plot thickens. Okay, so you never know what's going to happen there. So you never know. It's a like I said at the beginning, it keeps you guessing right there. So yeah, you will not be bored by that. So is it worth going to the theater though for that? Well, I will tell you later on. Okay, on that deal there. All right. Okay, and right now is just where I'm going to very quickly go through letting you guys know that there is that like button right down there that you can go ahead and smash there if you would. And then also there's a subscribe or follow button down there. And feel free to click on that if you haven't already. And then there's the notification bell also down there. A lot of buttons down there. Where if you click on that, it's just going to give you just going to send you like one lonely email a week, letting you know when there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh, delicious new episode of Movies Merica coming piping hot out of the oven. All right, and then I know we're wrapping it up with the buttons talk. I know we're getting to the end, but also to the people who are viewing this, who are watching this, but you're not watching it live. You're watching a recording of it. Well, appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. And none to fear. We can still communicate with each other, although we can't do it via the live chat because you're not watching it live. We can still communicate back and forth with each other. We're just going to have to do that via the comments section, which is down below there as well. And then, yeah, you can just use it, comment what you want, with whatever you want in there. Ultimately, I can't stop you from commenting with whatever you want down there. But yeah, go crazy. Go nuts, comment down there. And hey, one suggestion here, if you're tapped out, you're like, I don't know what to comment down there. I have no idea. Like, stop making things so hard, man. You can comment like, just let me know what you think of the show. Do you hate it? Are you meh? Are you, oh my God, Van, you are the reason streaming was invented. You're so good at this. So stuff like that in the comment section. You can definitely do that. And I do look at them. I'm not afraid of going in the comment section and seeing something that might hurt my feelings. Nope. I'm not a shrinking violet or anything like that. So I'll take a look at them. But anyway, enough about all of that. All right, let's get into a little bit more of how to make a killing, because that's what you guys are here for, right? And you're here to see if this is a movie worth heading over to the theaters or not for, or at least if it comes out on streaming, is it worth checking out? And I'll give you my conclusive answer on that here in a little bit. But Glen Powell is just still waiting for that breakthrough role that will put him on the same plane as like Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Mel Gibson back in the day, etc. And I think he's got what it takes, but it's just harder to have one of your movies skyrocket you into that atmosphere than it was back in decades past. I mean, there's just so much garbage, content out there available for everyone now. I don't think that if Gladiator came out today, it would propel Russell Crowe to the household name he became after that movie came out, because Gladiator would be like a gold bar lost in the middle of a landfill of content dreck. Okay, back then, like when Gladiator came out in 2000, it wasn't YouTube or there wasn't like widespread website or web use or anything like that. I mean, let me take that back. There wasn't as much. It wasn't as ubiquitous, right? We say you had Netscape Navigator and America Online and all that stuff back then, but it wasn't like the internet wasn't what it was. It wasn't back then what it is today. There, so you could still come out with a powerhouse movie and give a powerhouse performance and make an actor could go from being a no name to even your grandma knows who what his name is at this point. And Russell Crowe after Gladiator was a perfect example of that. Tom Cruise after Top Gun, there. Brad Pitt, after Legends of the Fall, the big movies that made him a household names right there. And I'm sure that Glen Powell was counting on The Running Man last year to be that explosion he needed. But alas, that movie sucked. Okay. And it was just not to be. I mean, it helps when your movie doesn't suck. And that real, but if it does suck, it really does hamper that whole, hey, I want to be so famous that even your Aunt Ruth or your cousin Jethro or whoever, people that are as far away from pop culture as possible. Even they know who I am, right? Kind of like Donald Trump, right? Everybody knows who Donald Trump is, right? Glen Powell, I don't say he wants to be Donald Trump, but I'm sure that he would not mind if he was such a famous actor that everyone would know his name like that. So, and speaking of like Tom Cruise that I mentioned before, Tom Cruise did a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s and on from there where he was the best of the best. And his character was someone you could root for, like Maverick or Daniel Kaffee on A Few Good Men, or Mitch McDeere in The Firm, or Jerry Maguire from Jerry Maguire. Powell needs more movies like that, okay? His Beckett Redfellow character in How to Make a Killing isn't someone you can just easily start rooting for. I mean, because he's, murdering people, okay? I mean, he's not like a John Anderton in Minority Report, right? Or anybody like that, or trying to think of Brad Pitt's character in World War Z, right? A guy that it's very easy to root for. Now he could instead, speaking of Glen Powell, he could instead murder it at the box office if he could just find his Maximus or his Ethan Hunt, his Jason Bourne. Until then, he's in danger of being the next Bradley Cooper or Clive Owen, actors that had their heydays until things went sideways, and now they have smaller paydays. Okay, it's just they had their moment in the sun, and it just they just haven't been able to maintain that constant success that a Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt has been able to maintain right there. That is for sure. So, real quick here, just want to remind you here that I know we're into the show a little bit here, but yeah, if you guys are watching here, feel free to get in the live chat, and hey, at least give me like a thumbs up emoji or a poop emoji or whatever, or if you're not that juvenile, hey, just say hi. There we go. And go from there. Okay, so definitely do that if you would. It costs you not a dime. There, it costs you that would barely even cost you any time. All right, much less a dime. There you go. So, all right, let's get into the segment of every Movies Merica episode that everyone just literally thirsts for. Okay, they need their thirst quenched, and the best way to quench that thirst is not more cowbell, but some brew review time. Okay, so let's get to this episode's brew that I will review. And this is Lindemann's Framboise or Framboise. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Framboise, even though it's spelled B-O-I-S-E. There we go. This is a raspberry lambic beer here. And again, this comes from Belgium. I was too lazy to look up where in Belgium. I should have just faked this. It comes from Brussels. I don't know. But and if you're wondering, what the word lambic means in the name right there and the description right there, lambic is just a word for a strong Belgian beer right there, which is kind of ironic because this only has an alcohol by volume of 2.5%, which is definitely not high. It's very low. Okay. Now it's not like, Bud Light trading fluid low, but it's pretty low, especially with the, for a beer with the word lambic in it right there. But it's still not bad. It's still not bad. It's, of course, since it's got raspberry in the title, of course, it's known for its raspberry flavor. It's got a deep pink flavor or color to it. That's what you can tell from this here. Let's pull it up to the light. kind of see a little pink right there. So, um, and I found it has like this sparkling aftertaste. Kind of has like kind of a champagne kind of sparkling aftertaste. Very mild sparkling aftertaste right there. It's tart to it. I mean, it kind of doesn't surprise me. It's it's raspberry flavored beer, so there's a little bit of tartness or tartiness, something like that in there. What's it made out of? Well, hey, if you let's if you're kind of into what beers are made out of, if you're afraid that someone's going to throw you a pop quiz, quizzing you, hey, what is this Lindemans Framboise raspberry lambic beer made out of? Well, that should help you out there. It's made from water, of course, um, barley malt, unmalted wheat, raspberry juice, sugar, hops, stevia, and last but not least, wild yeast. There you go. Now, I also like to tell you like what kind of foods the beers that I review do pair well with here. And this particular brewski actually pairs very well with since it's kind of a raspberry dessert beer here. It pairs well with like decadent chocolate desserts, raspberries, like fresh raspberries, ice cream with like raspberry sauce on it. Now, if you are in the if you live in the Rolls Royce, eating Grey Poupon all the time crowd, if you're part of the the cultural and financially elite, there it goes very very well with oysters or caviar. For cocktails, you can actually mix it with like a chocolate stout and you can have like a raspberry, chocolate beer cocktail there. So it sounds pretty tasty. I haven't tried that yet, but I think I'm going to try that at some point here. With just hearing it kind of makes my mouth water with that. So, but again, alcohol by volume is like 2.5%. Uh, not high at all. So it's so overall, maybe asking, hey Van, that's nice, but why don't you tell us? Would you recommend this beer? And drum roll, please. Oh, I guess we can't afford a drum roll. So anyway, so I'll just get right to it. I would recommend this beer right here. Okay, I would recommend it here. Now, it might not be the beer of choice for like just the people with very simple beer taste, right? If you're just like, hey man, I'm just happy with like a Coors Light or a Bud Light tranny fluid or whatever, or Tecate or something like that. Hey, more power to you. I mean, a lot of people are just like, hey, that's all I like to drink. That's fine. There, and hey, even even the computer's giving me a thumbs up right there. So even Apple's giving us a thumbs up. Yeah. So, but if you are a little bit more adventurous with your beer enjoyment, then yeah, check out Lindemans Framboise. There we go. I like saying framboise is not as fun to say as framboise. There we go. But yeah, you might be able to get it like on the app on your phone called Open Bar. I think it's on iOS and Android now. If you are in an area where this is available, you could probably even get Uber Eats to deliver this because I know Uber Eats delivers booze, not just food anymore. It delivers drinks, not just eats. You go to a website like gopuff.com. I think they actually will deliver beer like nationwide, maybe even worldwide, even if that beer is not in your area, but you'll pay. You will pay for it. Okay, so it's so you better want this pretty bad there. So I would recommend this. I don't know if I would recommend it to the point where you should pay like gopuff.com delivery, prices or anything like that, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It kind of does have me curious as far as how it would go, or basically has me curious to try drinking this with like a decadent chocolate dessert. Maybe some big old chocolate brownies, and then wash them down with this right here. So, because right now, typically when I eat big old thick chocolate brownies, I'm a milk guy, right? A big old glass of whole milk right there. But I might have to switch that up and go with the framboise from now on. So, but anyway, I think that's our hint to wrap up this brew review time. Just occurred to me I didn't even drink that, so hey, let me take care of that right now. Mm. Pretty good. Pretty good. So now, like I said, it is tart. And so sometimes these tart beers kind of give me like a little mild heartburn kind of thing, like get that kind of rumbly tummy kind of thing going on right there. So if you do see me wincing throughout the rest of the show, or maybe you've already seen me wincing, throughout the show here already, that would be why. That would be why. I know you're like, I know, sure. Right now you're saying, "God, Van, you're such a man. You're such a tough guy right there. That you get a little tummy ache from some raspberry beer. You, you wuss." I know. It is what it is. It sucks getting old. Sorry. Sucks getting more mature and enhanced. There we go. That's how I should put it. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, let me do this here. I'm just going to show you something here real quick here because I don't want to hog all this to myself. Let's check that out here. Get this shared up here with you. And I'm sure you're going to be thanking me after you see me present this. And this is just the Movies Merica merch store. And just want to take a minute here to remind you that it does exist. Okay. You can get yourself some cool stuff like a Movies Merica hat there. It doesn't have any purple on the hat. So I know, sorry. I want to be honest with you there. But everything else on here is, just as it looks here on the website. You got the t-shirts here. That's one Movies Merica logo here. Got assorted different things you can grab there, tank tops and shirts and hoodies and all that stuff. Even sports bras, as you see right there. And that's the big mugs type of logo for Movies Merica. And then we got the Hollyweird logo here as well, the Hollyweird type logo here with the shirts and all that stuff here as well. And then we're coming down to my personal favorite type of Movies Merica logo, the Black Adam style here, which I think is pretty cool. And then you might be saying, "Hey, Van, I'm all good with gear. I'm all good with clothes. I don't need any more." But you know what? I do get a little thirsty sometimes. And to that, I'd be like, well, get ready to be happy. You're in luck. We've got some drinkware for you with Movies Merica splatted right on it. There you go. So that's what you see right here. And so we got some desk mats down here as well. So yeah, it's so easy to get your hands on this because the Movies Merica merch website link is down in the description right on down there. So don't hesitate. Get on down there and check out some of this gear and get some for yourself. It makes a really good conversation starter. I know I've worn like my hat or my Movies Merica t-shirt out before. And, I've had people just straight up just, ask me like, "Hey, what's Movies Merica?" Because they like how it sounds. It's the alliteration of saying Movies Merica, right? So they like that right there. But yeah, don't make me hog all the Movies Merica merch. Get some of this Movies Merica merch for yourself right there. There you go. All right. Let's check that out here. And all right, let's move on here. And I've just got some random thoughts about how to make a killing there. Of course, again, with Glen Powell and Jessica Henwick and Margaret Qualley, among others. And my first random thought is I've always had a soft spot for Jessica Henwick, who plays Ruth, Glen Powell's love interest in this movie. And I have liked Jessica since she played one of the sand snakes, Nymeria Sand, in Game of Thrones back in the day here. And she's also great in a movie called Love and Monsters. And in case you haven't seen that, it's it stars Dylan O'Brien. And Dylan O'Brien, you might know him. Most recently, people would have saw him in the movie Send Help that came out a few weeks ago, where he plays like the jerk boss to Rachel McAdams, who gets trapped on a remote tropical island with Rachel McAdams, and he's got basically they got to work together. And anyway, so that's his latest movie here. I think Jessica Henwick plays like his love interest, like plays his girlfriend in Love and Monsters, and then of course Monsters, take over the world, and him and his girlfriend Jessica Henwick, they get separated, and most of the movie is him trying to brave going through this world populated by monsters to get to her. So And she's also in a movie called The Royal Hotel, which is like a small little movie that takes place in Australia. There, it's a slow burn, but I thought she was pretty good in it. Now, in How to Make a Killing, she adds emotion with her palpable chemistry with Beckett during their romance that you are rooting to last. You don't want it to end. You're rooting for the best for these two crazy kids, and she convinces you that Ruth is a character to root for, and the ending hits you with how she fits within the ending of this movie. But yeah, she brings that humanity to her character where you want it to work out between her and Beckett, and it makes you wonder like so her character is the girlfriend at first the girlfriend of one of the obnoxious other Redfellow family members there, and then it just makes me wonder like why is she with him? It's like, oh, that's right, he's part of this rich famous family or whatever. But then eventually she falls for Beckett in that. And then another random thought that I had is the supporting cast in this movie is none too shabby. I mean, you see a number of familiar faces. You get Bill Camp from Joker and Sound of Freedom. You get Topher Grace from That 70s Show and Spider-Man 3. Remember, he played Venom in Spider-Man 3. Zach Woods from Silicon Valley. His character is the guy that is dating Jessica Henwick, at the beginning of the movie here. And then we also get movie stalwart and Oscar winner Ed Harris, who, of course, we've seen for decades in movies such as Apollo 13. I mean, he only won an Oscar for that movie. The Rock, okay, remember he played the Marine general there who took over Alcatraz. And The Rock, I was in the movie The Abyss, which is tragically underrated. It's a tragically underrated James Cameron movie, The Abyss, along with many, many other movies in his legendary filmography. And of course, Ed Harris, he's also husband to Amy Madigan, and him and Amy Madigan have been married since the mid '80s. Okay, so that's a long haul marriage in Hollywood. That's something to this. That's something to applaud right there. That's amazing. That Hollywood marriage lasts that long right there. But he's married to Amy Madigan. A lot of you might know Amy Madigan as Kevin Costner's wife in Field of Dreams. All right, that's Amy Madigan right there. She's wife to his Ray Kinsella character in Field of Dreams there. But Amy Madigan, now recently, she just got nominated for Best Supporting Actress for playing the evil Aunt Gladys in Weapons. There, the witch from Weapons, right there. She did a knockout job, a very creepy job at playing Aunt Gladys in Weapons. And so, hey, Ed Harris, she's got a proud husband there in Ed Harris, I'm sure. I mean, he's got his Oscar already. But yeah, all that to say is How to Make a Killing. It's got a really, really good cast in this. So so I think that if you're a movie maniac or a freedom fueled film fanatic like me, you'll enjoy that fact right there. Okay, so all right, let's keep this train chugging along, shall we? Right there, let's do this. And just to remind you guys that this Sunday show that you guys are watching, this Movies Merica live show that you guys are checking out here, this is not the only show I do each week. I do a Thursday night show called Movies Merica Spoiler Warning. And as you may guess from the title of the show, yes, it's my discussions of a movie on Thursday night is going to have spoilers in it, okay? And of course, since we're talking about How to Make a Killing today on this Movies Merica live show, well, then Thursday's show will be about How to Make a Killing as well. But I'm not going to worry if I drop spoilers or not on Thursday night, okay? Now, today, I'm taking extra special care to not drop spoilers, okay? But on Thursday night, I'm not going to go out of my way to drop spoilers or anything like that, but I'm also not going to walk on eggshells and chew my fingernails off and, chug Pepto-Bismol, stressing myself out about not dropping spoilers, okay? That's why the title of the show literally has the words spoiler warning, as in warning, there's spoilers in this show, all right? So reach minimum safe distance, okay? But that doesn't mean you can't fire up the show. I mean, if you don't want even if you don't want the movie spoiled, one thing that I recommend doing, and some people take me up on it, is just start the show, click on because there's links to the Movies Merica spoiler warning show that comes out on Thursday night. Just like you clicked on a link to watch this show right here. So what I recommend is just click on the link to start the show up, and if you don't want any spoilers, just keep the show going, but just mute it. There you go, just mute it, and you won't have the movie spoiled, and it still helps me out with watch minutes, okay? And doing that for me costs you absolutely nothing, okay? And barely any time, okay? But I do that with other shows, other streaming shows there on YouTube and Rumble. Is I'll turn the show on, and if I'm doing something else, I'll turn it on some laptop in some back room or on my phone or something like that, and I'll mute it. But the creator, the person, associate person or persons associated with the show, they still get the watch minute credit. So there you go. Anyway, all right, there we go. But should probably let you know what time the show comes on Thursday. Probably not the worst idea. So that comes on at 7 Eastern, so 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night. That's 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific time Thursday night right there. And I hope to see you there. You do, so you just have to just go to like my X page under @Movies Merica or, Facebook. Look for Movies Merica or Van Ebert on Facebook. Places like that. You'll be able to get the links to watch the show there. And we release those like on Thursday morning there. Or you can just go to Rumble and look up Movies Merica and then whatever the movie is there. So check that out. So a number of different ways to check out the show right there. But all righty there. Let's move on. All right. I don't know if that if that transition paused for you, but it sure did pause for me. So hopefully my internet is not going on grandma speed right now. But anyway, right now I'm going to go into a segment that is a bedrock segment of every Sunday episode of Movies Merica, and this is the part where I tell you if the movie of the week is a woke after school special. Excuse me. And so some of you might be wondering, some of you younger folks, some of you young whippersnappers, okay, might be wondering, hey, well, I get the woke part, but what after school special? Well, I will let you know here. So an after school special is a show, a TV show that would come on back in the day. It was like a one-time thing. It was like this half an hour or so show that would come on after school, okay, hence the name. And it would be the content of the shows would be these shows where they're trying to teach kids lessons, right? Valuable lessons, valuable life lessons. Like, if you're at school and some dirtbag offers you a cigarette, don't take it, okay? Or they offer you drugs or alcohol, like don't take it, just say no, all right? Or if somebody wants you to get in their car, stranger danger, like don't do it. When some creepy guy, rolls up in his van with no windows right there and says, "Hey, little girl, want some candy?" The after school special is there to warn you, like, don't get in the van, all right? That's Buffalo Bill, all right? He's going to throw you in a pit, all right, and make you rub lotion on yourself. Otherwise, you'll get the hose again, all right? So the after school special was just educational, informational shows that came on for kids after school, okay? And they were, usually very cheesy, very corny, a good message for the kids to learn, but very corny in their execution. All right. So I know many times I'd get home from school and I'd be like, Mom, can we turn the TV on? I want to watch Leave It to Beaver or Dukes of Hazzard or something like that. And, you'd go to the TV and you're like, man, all right, I can't watch it. I can't wait to watch Leave It to Beaver. And it'd be like an after school special coming on, don't take cigarettes if someone offers you at school, or don't get in that van with no windows or whatever, that kind of thing. don't stick a fork in a light socket. There you go. Otherwise, it's going to be finito for you. Okay, there you go. It's going to be a shocking experience. So, and then you'd see that like, oh man, what the heck? I thought Flintstones were going to be on. I don't want to watch this. One of the reasons you didn't want to watch it is because, well, one, it wasn't your show you were looking forward to, and two, very corny, very cheesy, and that was that. So that's what an after school special is, and they came on like usually in the 80s and 90s. Pretty sure they're not a thing anymore. But back to this show and where that's relevant. So this is a segment. It's relevant because this is a segment where I let you know if the movie I'm reviewing is a woke after school special, where it's a movie where it's not concerned at all with entertaining you and providing you any kind of pleasure or enjoyment. It's actually on the contrary, wants to lecture you and preach at you and tell you if you're a white person in the audience, you're a white oppressor and you suck, or whatever, whatever they want to preach to you about, as far as like learning or living the right woke lifestyle, whatever, right? So to that end is how to make a killing a woke after school special. And I have to say, not really, except it does take a shot at Elon Musk with one character, but that's not woke. That's just leftist class envy and no facts, all emotion, demonization of someone very successful whose political leanings they just happen not to like. Okay, now some might attribute a sort of eat the rich communist undertone to this movie, since Beckett is taking out a very wealthy family. Maybe they might be looking at it like Beckett is our have-not hero, and he's taking out the haves because we don't. That's one of the things is communism, socialism. It's the religion of the malcontent, right? It's all about class envy. You haven't worked as hard to be successful as people that are successful, but it's no fun to look inwards and go, well, yeah, the reason I'm not as successful is because I've been lazier than them. Okay, it's no fun to do that. It's more fun to just pretend like, oh, I'm doing everything right, and they just got rich by screwing other people over. And that class envy again, eat the rich kind of mentality right there. But I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to go that. I'm not going to go to that far with it right here. I mean, my woke radar isn't calibrated to be that sensitive. Thank God. Thank God. Otherwise, I'd be a boorish, annoying loudmouth to just about everything. All right. I'm only a boorish, annoying loudmouth about some things, but if that was the case, if I was that sensitive, I'd be a boorish, annoying loudmouth about everything. And I don't want to be that guy. I just don't want to do that. I'm just, boorish about some things, not everything right there. So, but but that again, that's just my segment where I just let you know whether the movie is a walk after school special. So then that way you can take into account whether or not you are going to see this movie at the theater or not. Now, personally, me, if I heard someone say that a movie was a walk after school special, I'm saving my money. I am not going and spending $15 on a movie just to get lectured and talked down to, especially as a white guy. All right, because right nowadays in our society right here, and I don't know what this is going to like and how this is going to end up, but right now being a white guy, you are public enemy number one. Okay, so because some white guys did some evil stuff like at least decades ago, I guess now I'm supposed to pay for it. Okay. All right. Anyway, that has been Is This Movie a Woke After School Special? Okay, so just want to take a minute here just to remind you that, hey, if you are enjoying this show here enough, or you're appreciating what I'm doing here enough, warning you away from a movie, or turning you on to a good movie enough to, maybe throw a buck or two my way, well, you can certainly do that. And the way to do that is in Rumble and YouTube. I'm going to show you like how to do it in both of those platforms. So in Rumble, you go to the live chat window, and then down by where you type in your live chat message, there's a button with a $sign on it. and you just click on that. It'll pop up another window, and it'll just ask you how much you want to donate my way, and that's it. Very simple, very easy, okay? And then on YouTube, it works very similarly. It's just all in the live chat window, and then down at the bottom of the live chat window, you'll look for a button with a dollar bill on it, and you click on that dollar bill button. It'll just ask you, how much you want to donate, and that's it. Very simple. Also, if you're on the Rumble side, there's a tip button there as well. Again, down there's a tip button. You can use the tip button there to give me a tip. There you go. So you got a number of different ways, but that's only if you think I deserve it. That's only if you appreciate what I'm doing. All right, I'm not gonna, chastise you or get all bent out of shape if you don't do that right there. So sometimes you just, hey, we don't have the money all the time, right? There you go. And I am all about earning, my tips and the money that I get from the live chats and Rumble and YouTube right there. But just thought I'd put that bug in your ear, and you can do with that what you will from there. Okay, there you go. All right, let's wrap up that right there and take a look at. We're just going to move on here. So, but my final thoughts on this movie is I would go check this out. Okay, now it is R-rated. All right, so don't take the kids, don't take the kiddies there. I mean, it's not the worst R-rated movie that you could take them to. I mean, it's basically R-rated for language. I'm trying to think if they do have. There's like one violent scene in it there. So, but it's not like an R-rated movie that's going to just turn your kids psychotic or anything like that. But you still want to be a responsible parent and not take your kid to an R-rated movie. Otherwise, you might have to unlearn some profane words from their vocabulary there if you go and take this take them there. But hey, if you don't have the kids to worry about, or you can get a babysitter, I would recommend going and checking out this movie. It is a fun but dark, if that makes any sense. I know that kind of does just kind of go against each other, contradicts each other right there. But it's fun. It's entertaining. It keeps you guessing. It's got a really good charismatic performance from Glen Powell. As back in the day from Top Gun Maverick as Hangman there. But so I would go check it out and check that out right there. I mean, it's it could be a little worse movies there. And, maybe you can go catch a matinee or something like that and get a discount movie price. But you'll like that. Jessica Henwick is good in it as well. She adds some great humanity and charm to the movie as Ruth, Glen Powell, or Beckett's love interest in the movie. So it also has kind of a little bit of a kind of like Wolf of Wall Street in the plot there as well. A little bit of Wolf of Wall Street and a little Wall Street in the plot there. So, but yeah, those are my final thoughts on the movie there. Okay, and now for me, probably the toughest part of the show here for me. So. And that's why I saved it for last as we get ready to wrap up this episode of Movies Merica Live. But it was a year ago today that I lost my English bulldog Tugboat, who was the first dog of Movies Merica. And so because today is the year anniversary of that, I just wanted to play this video right after he passed a year ago. And so just wanted to share it with everybody here since it's been a year here. So, but anyway, so here it is. Denzel Washington plays a highly skilled killer in The Equalizer 3. And I just so happen to have an equalizer underneath my own roof. And he equalizes how good it smells in here with his eye-watering farts from his weapon of ass destruction. And then he finishes the job by licking you to death. He is a ferocious, killing beastie. You've been warned. Hey everybody, welcome to Movies Merica. This latest episode is going to be about Russell Crowe's Robin Hood. Yes, it's a throwback version of Movies Merica. And you know what? Tugboat is, he's restless. He's got to watch Robin Hood right now. Okay? He's ready. Are you? Let's do this. Well, Tugboat isn't speaking to me after I made him watch this episode's movie. I don't think there's any amount of belly rubs and doggy treats that's going to get me out of this doghouse. Isn't that right, buddy? Yep. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome. Come on in and join us. Me and Tech Sergeant Tugboat, retired, are just chilling out here because we are getting ready to review for you a military war drama called The Covenant. All right, so stay tuned and we'll try to keep you entertained. All right, on with the show. Hey, everybody. Hey, I got my fuzzy buddy here with me. I thought I might need some help with this episode of Extraction 2, okay? And he's going to be my co-pilot for this, well, at least the first part of this episode, okay? We got a little Tugboat here. And Extraction 2, gonna have action, guns, bullets. He loves all of those things. So, let's get on with the show. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this Movies Merica party, okay? We at Club Movies Merica. And I think, like, some famous assassin, maybe I think his name is Baba Yaga, is supposed to show up here and take out some folks. But in the meantime, here, my four-pawed friend, my friend with the fat belly and the wrinkles, we're going to do a little dance, we're going to party it up here, okay, before the shooting starts for this episode of Movies Merica. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Movies Merica. And in this episode, we will be spoiler-free reviewing The Machine. And here's my machine, who's laying down on the job. Yes, he is. All right, let's get into this. Hey, everybody. Hey, just Tugboat and me right here, and we just are getting ready for this Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves review of Movies Merica. Yeah. And Tugboat here has a weakness for everything that's medieval. You know, knights and wizards and spells and all that. So that is why he's going to join me for this episode. So stay tuned and check out this intro. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this Movies Merica episode, the latest one here with Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. And I've got my own Guardian of the Galaxy right here, buddy. Say hello, Tugboat. Yeah, so he's just enjoying it right there. He's getting his belly rub, his chest rub right there. And he's going to help me out with this episode. So, get ready, everybody. Let's do this. Hey, Movies Merica Nation. I just want to ask you to join us for this latest episode of Movies Merica coming up here after the intro. But me and my fuzzy boy here, we're just playing some video games. We're in the video game playing mood. And we just saw a video game related movie. Okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/Movies Merica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'll be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.